Hey, it's David from quizhacker.net. Today we are looking at reading question 9 from practice test 1 of the ACT Red Book. So today's question, a reasonable conclusion Fran and her mother draw about Linda Rose from her letter and picture is that. The first step, remember, when we are answering ACT reading questions is to translate the question if necessary. And this question does require a little bit of translation because it asks about a reasonable conclusion Fran and her mother draw about Linda Rose. So that word reasonable is what I want to hone in on. Of course, what is or is not reasonable, or a conclusion that is or is not reasonable, is a subjective question, right? What you think is reasonable might differ from what I think is reasonable. So I'm not sure why they put that word reasonable in this question, as if we were supposed to choose from, say, two different conclusions that Fran and her mother draw, and we will go with the one that's reasonable and throw out the one that's not reasonable. No, that's not what's going on here. What we want to do is simply translate this question to read, what conclusion, according to the passage, do Fran and her mother draw about Linda Rose from her letter and picture? What conclusion, according to the passage, do Fran and her mother draw about Linda Rose from the passage? That's what we're looking for. And as it turns out, the answer is in line 75 and lines 10 through 11. So in line 75, this is Fran's mother. She says, talking about the picture of Linda Rose, well, here's the living proof. Mother tapped her nail against the glossy picture. She looks just like you, only her nose is more aristocratic. Okay, so Fran's mother says, hey, she looks just like you, Fran. In lines 10 through 11, Fran mentions that the handwriting on the envelope, that is Linda Rose's handwriting, looks just like Fran's. That's line 10 and 11. So we know from the passage that a conclusion that Fran and her mother draw about Linda Rose is that she looks like she looks like Fran, and her handwriting is like Fran's. Okay, let's look at the answer choices. Let's see. A, lives near the coast of Texas with her husband. So that would be the conclusion they draw. No, they do not draw that conclusion. The only thing about Texas in the passage is that Fran remarks in the first paragraph that the envelope, the letter from Linda Rose, has a Dallas postmark. And Fran mentions that she doesn't know anybody in Texas. So that doesn't say anything about the coast of Dallas, or I'm sorry, the coast of Texas. And so answer choice A is a distractor. Answer choice B, the reasonable conclusion here would be that, or the conclusion rather, I want to watch out for that word reasonable, would be that Linda Rose enjoys and collects fine paintings. So there is some mention in the passage about a painting. And I'm looking here at lines, let's see, 42 to 45. Here it says that the two women, Fran and her mom, look at the picture, and the blonde girl in the picture, that's Linda Rose. She's on a couch, and there's a dime a dozen seascape in a cheap frame above her. So a seascape is a kind of painting, a painting of the sea, and it's in a cheap frame. Okay, so first of all, this would not be considered a fine painting. It doesn't say, in fact, it says it's a dime a dozen. Dime a dozen meaning very common, very average, very ordinary. Fine, on the other hand, meaning excellent. So this answer choice contradicts the passage in that sense. And also, there's nothing in the passage that says Linda Rose enjoys the painting. It says the painting is there, but for all we know, someone made Linda Rose sit in front of that painting and she can't stand it, right? We don't know how Linda Rose feels about the painting. We just know the painting is in the picture. Okay, answer choice C. This would be that Fran and her mother conclude that Linda Rose bears a strong resemblance to Fran. Well, sure. This looks pretty good because I said line 75, Mom says that she looks just like you. And on lines 10 and 11, Fran notes that Linda Rose's handwriting is just like hers. So those are both forms of resemblance, right? Most clearly in Mother's comment, but resemblance can also refer to the similarity in handwriting. So we really like this answer choice. We've drawn a line through A because we eliminated it. We've drawn a line through B because we eliminated it. We like C, but remember, we're not going to decide for sure until we read all of the answer choices. So what I normally do when I find an answer choice that I like, but I'm not finished looking at them all yet, is put an arrow next to it. You can use any symbol you want, a star, a happy face. Well, I wouldn't recommend a happy face because it takes too long to draw. But any symbol, as long as it's always the same symbol, and it means, hey, I like this one, but I'm not 100% yet. Let's look at answer choice D. This would be that the conclusion Fran and her mother draw about Linda Rose is that Linda Rose cares little about how she or her house looks. So, no, right? There's nothing in the passage that suggests that Linda Rose doesn't care about her appearance or the appearance of her house. The only mention is, again, in those same lines, let's see, 42 to 45, and she's sitting on a flowered couch. She has wavy hair, and that's it, right? So I would say answer choice D here is, irrelevant. It's completely unrelated. There is some description of Linda Rose and some description of Linda Rose's house, but no description at all that suggests that, let alone spells out, right? Because we're always looking for the answer choice that is spelled out in the passage, that she doesn't care about her appearance or the appearance of her house. So yes, answer choice C is our correct answer. If you like this video, please do click like. I post new videos every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything. Until next time, I hope this video has helped you to prep smarter.